Once you've gathered all the information that you're going to put in your email request, you need to start drafting that email. And you're not going to draft it in your email program. Instead, you're going to draft it in Google Docs, and then you'll later copy and paste it into your email program. The reason why is because you don't want to accidentally send the email before it's finished. And trust me, that happens more often than you realize. It's happened to the best of us, even me. So, first thing you're going to do is you need to introduce yourself and your purpose. So here's what I've come up with. My name is Christina Cook, and I am a sophomore in Mrs. Cook's Writing Fundamental course. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm just introducing myself. Who am I, and why should they care? Where am I coming from? Okay. Then I'm introducing my purpose. Why, what ultimately am I doing? So this year we're participating in project-based learning, and my group is working on feeding the local hungry. So this is telling my reader what I am doing. And this is, of course, is going to then lead into how can they help. So the next thing I need to do is inform my reader of how they can help or what it is I'm looking for from them. So I'm writing this letter to the advisor of student council. So I'm going to start by saying I was hoping that student council would be able to assist me in my mission to collect over 2,500 cans of food and other non-perishables to donate to the Warren Township Food Pantry. So it's just kind of basic right now. I'm hoping you will assist. I'm not giving them specific things they have to do. I'm leaving it open. Also, I'm telling them ultimately what my goal is, which is important. They need to know what the overall goal is so that they can determine whether or not it's something they feel they are capable of doing. And then I also want to make sure I put where this stuff's going to go, because that's important to people. They want to know, if I'm going to do all this work, what is it going to help? And so I want to give them the specific food pantry that I will be donating these items to. But I need to give a little bit more information. I need to make more of a request. So I'm going to go on to say here, student council would be able to help in my efforts by donating time to help collect and transport the donated goods to the Warren Township Food Pantry. So here I'm giving a specific task that I am asking help for. But I'm also not demanding it. I'm not saying I need your help doing this or will you do this. Instead, I'm just saying you would be able to help by doing this and it will benefit my efforts. You want to make it seem as if the reader has a choice in this. You don't want to make it a demand. You're making a request, and that's really important. And so you need to be careful with how you phrase this. If I were to phrase it like this instead, I need you to help collect and transport the goods. Now it's a demand, okay? It's a command, not a demand, it's a command. And so you want to avoid that because no one likes to be told what they have to do. The next thing you need to put in your email is the timeline. Basically, when do you need to hear back from them by? Do you need to meet with them? If so, when? And when would you need them to, give their contribution? So I'm going to tell them that I want to meet in the next couple weeks because I'm having the food drive in February and it needs to be all organized in advance. And then I also need to tell them the potential week during February in which I am going to run the food drive and when specifically I would need them to help collect all the cans. So what I have here is I've given them the timeline in which the food drive is going to occur, which is the second week of February. But then also I have given kind of that timeline of when do we need to meet and what do I want to do during this meeting. So I'd like to meet in the next 2 weeks in order to discuss in more detail if and how student council can help out. So again, notice I'm not saying I need to meet with you to figure out how you can help. Instead, I have that word if in there in order to give them the choice of whether or not they're going to participate, because I don't want them to feel forced to do this, because that's going to make them say, no, we're not helping you, why should we help you? If it's more of an option and an invitation for them to help, they're more likely to assist us. The very last thing that we need to do is thank the reader. And this is important because they are taking time to read the letter and also they are considering whether or not they are going to help out with this project. So it's going to be short and sweet. Basically, thank you for your consideration and I look forward to hearing from you soon. So notice I do have a comma here, and the reason why is because I have two complete sentences on either end of the conjunction, the word and. So make sure if you use this sentence that you have that comma before the and. And then very last thing that you need to do is put your sincerely. Sincerely, Christina Cook. And then if you want to put a phone number, you can, but it's more likely that they're going to email you back, so it's not necessary for our purposes. All right, go ahead, get your draft together, and then the next video is on how to put all of this into the email.